Darko, about 18 points in the fourth quarter. What do you think happened to your offense in that stretch?
I think it's 18 points on defensive end and are also 31 points on defensive end. They scored a lot in that quarter there. We had a lead going into the fourth quarter. We knew that we needed to get stops. We knew that we needed to keep them off the free throw line. And we did not do a good enough job of closing out to hot shooters. We did not do a good enough job of keeping them off the free throw line. And then offensively, we missed some open shots, but we also get stagnant there towards the end of the game, and we were chasing some isolations instead of playing to our style, like of ball movement and cutting and moving. And a lot of learning from this game, especially for our young guys, to learn how to close the game.
You've talked, especially early in the season, about the pace and the half-court offense, and that seemed to disappear late in the game. Is there a tendency late in a game to slow things down when it's a close game? And obviously it sounds like you want them to get away from that.
Yeah, for us, I want to have pace during the full 48 minutes. In NBA, it's just natural that end of the game, last 5-6 minutes of the game slows down. There is more execution. There is more allowed physicality on defensive end. Teams are much more alert, so it's not as easy to keep that same pace. We're trying to, but it's not easy always to have that tendency at the end of the game. So execution needs to be really high level. The angles of screen, how you're rolling, where is the positioning, taking care of the ball. You know, we had a stretch in the fourth quarter that we turned the ball over like 2 or 3 times straight, and that just you cannot allow that in the fourth quarter.
Finishing around the rim has been an issue lately. Scotty talked about it in practice the other day. You guys didn't shoot well in the paint tonight against a team that isn't a great shot blocking team. How much of an emphasis has that been for you guys, and what do you need to do to fix it?
It's a big emphasis. You know, it's obviously, especially for young guys, it's quite a bit difference of speed and size that they're facing at the rim. So it's just learning what it takes, what kind of pace and force you need to have to get to the rim, and then what kind of angles you need to have to finish at the rim. You know, a lot of times we're going to go and try to finish with underhand shots when we actually need more hook shots or some floaters. And there is a fine balance while you're touching the paint and being aggressive, recognizing situations where defense is collapsing and find open man. You know, our emphasis today was to get more threes. We were able to get more threes, and that's positive, but we still need to continue being better attacking the rim and finishing at the rim.
Nick Claxton got ejected. I'm wondering sort of what was your view of that whole situation in the aftermath?
I really did not see the play there, what happened. I just saw he got ejected, so no comment on that.
Sometimes in these late game situations, it's just give the ball to the best player and let him score. Scotty is your guy in those situations. How do you want him to balance that isolation that sounds like you don't love versus playing how you love Scotty Burns? Like
to find a balance, exactly. Like you're right on the point with that, because there has to be moments that your star player gets the ball and he has the ball in his hands, and he decides how to attack, who's the matchup, but also at the same time teammates need to help him. My problem today was we were not active off the ball when he was going into some of those isolations. We still need to have cuts. We still need to have some windows opportunities for other guys to find open shots there, and we were just stagnant. We were standing and watching him play.
One of the things that Jamal does so well is drawing, moving screens, offensive fouls. I think he took 3 of them today. What is it that allows him to really excel at that?
He has such a high energy, and he's so competitive. He's fighting through a lot of screens. A lot of those screens are borderline illegal screens, and he just finds a way to compete on the ball, and he's really improving of the ball as well. So that's the main thing, just like his tenacity to pursue on those screens.
How much was it Jakob Pertl's presence missed tonight? You saw it on the glass and even just in those half-court situations down late. How much could you have used him out there in this one?
I mean, that's obvious one, but we did not have Yak, and we're not going to talk about Yak. It's not fair to the other guys or him to comment on that.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, guys.